I hope you can see the shirt there. Yo, what's up? This is Boxing Combo. Wow, what an amazing fight. I haven't seen such a good fight since, I don't know, since a long time. It's just a fight that, it was a great fight to start off with. Um, I had Martinez. I thought Martinez could win this fight. That was if I would have had a prediction video before this, I didn't have the time. But if I did have the time, I would have made a prediction vid and I would have Martinez winning the fight because, forgetting about everything else, just going by what's written on paper, Martinez is the best at the 160 division. He is the absolute champion, the super champion at the 160 division. So Cotto coming up to that division, I thought, well, on paper, Cotto is supposed to lose. So, I betted money and I went based on what was on paper. I didn't, I was really impressed with the way Cotto won with Delvin Rodriguez. Um, that kind of makes me a bit mad or pissed off because in Puerto Rico, people really do like boxing, and we talk a lot of boxing. But when Cotto fought Delvin Rodriguez, I thought, wow, this is a good fight. And Cotto defeated or demolished, better said, Delvin Rodriguez. And in Puerto Rico, the majority of the people did not give him any type of credit for that fight. People were saying, well, Martinez not, I mean, Delvin Rodriguez is not a big deal, he's not that good. I've seen at least 15 fights of Delvin Rodriguez. And Delvin Rodriguez is a great fighter at 154. He's very, very good. I've seen him in so many fights. The majority of his losses has been robbery. That last fight he had in Canada, I saw Delvin Rodriguez win the fight, and he gave it a tie in Canada, and the other fighter was from Canada. So you know that it was a robbery. Anyway, Cotto demolished Delvin Rodriguez, but that was a 154 anyway, and Delvin Rodriguez does have kind of a skinny body. So I thought, hey, I actually had predicted that Cotto would win the Delvin Rodriguez fight in a 12 round decision. I did not expect that type of a knockout. In this fight, I had Martinez winning. So for the Cotto to go into that fight, and that was just, he didn't just, he schooled Martinez. He whooped Martinez's butt. That's what you call a classic ass whooping. It was just, you know, it was excitement at its best. It was just a very great in New York, in Madison Square Garden. Um, wow, it was just a great fight. It was just I haven't seen a fight that good in such a long time. You know, between two elite fighters, and then having Sergio Martinez, the amount of gibberish that he talked. He talked so much BS to then get his butt whooped this way. It was that added to the embarrassment because you can lose a fight, but when you talk all that crap before a fight and then lose the fight in the no mas type of situation, like no mas, that's even worse. Like if he wouldn't have said all the crap he talked, or if he wouldn't have talked all the crap he talked, and lose the fight, then but then he loses the fight after he talked so much crap. It was, But I'll be honest with you. I think my mind, because I've always been a big fan of Sergio Martinez. To be really honest with you, to be real honest with you, I've been a big fan of Sergio Martinez. So for him, the way he talked and all the crap he was saying, I understood. I thought this must be promotion because Sergio Martinez is not that type of fighter to talk that much crap. First time I've ever seen him being that type of a fighter, talking all the BS. But I really appreciate that at the end of the fight, the way he said, "Hey, no excuses. No excuses. I lost the fight. Bottom line. It reminds me of Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto has never had any excuses when he loses. He understands that fighters win and they lose, and this was a fight that Sergio Martinez lost. But it was, you know, with the Miguel Cotto, when like I'm living in Puerto Rico, and in Puerto Rico, Felix Trinidad, known as Tito, he's just beloved in such a way in here in Puerto Rico. People just, Trinidad, Felix Trinidad can't even go to the supermarket without being hounded by people like Tito, Tito, and everyone taking pictures and autographs, and he's the type that for him it's not a bother. He'll go out there and sign autographs, he'll take pictures. So Trinidad has been the biggest thing here for years. And Cotto, since he's so serious, he's not that likable. People look at him like, oh, Miguel Cotto. Like we'll watch his fights because his fights are always extremely entertaining. But to see him and get overly happy, nah, nah. We'll just keep that with Tito. So for this fight, we were like, all right, we're gonna support him. But we still had that question mark. Will he win? Martinez is so big, so can he take a punch at 160 and so on and so on. So I feel that this is actually the first time that Cotto was celebrated in Puerto Rico like a Felix Tito Trinidad. Like people really celebrated. I heard the screamings in everybody's house. You know, I just wonder what the pay-per-view sales was because I'm a barber, so at a barber shop I talk to so many people on a daily basis, and everyone is talking about watching this fight, seeing this fight. I heard it on the radio. It was just a great fight, and I think that Cotto today did not just become Tito Trinidad, Felix Trinidad. He surpassed that by becoming the first Boricua to win world titles in 4 different divisions. Um, I'm glad because at the end of the day, people might not see Cotto as the most likable person, but I think there's no doubt that he's always been very respectful. He's always been a very respectful, well-mannered person. You don't see him BSing. You don't see him talking about anyone or being negative. You don't see him putting up any excuses. He's always been like, I lost or I won. He doesn't. So I think that at the end of the day, we've had not the most charismatic champion, but the most honest champion. He's an honest, upfront type person that today I give him all the credit in the world, and I think we all should give him all the credit in the world. And Miguel Cotto, wow, what a fight! It was worth the like $70-$80 I paid for the pay per view. It was worth it. It was worth it. And I've never said it wasn't. I've always been a big fan of Miguel Cotto because every fight of Miguel Cotto is exciting. I remember the Sam Judah fight. Wow, what an incredible fight. There's just so many fights with Miguel Cotto. The Carlos Torres, the Carlos Musa, the Mosley fight, the Maranagi fight, even the Margarito fights. Even Margarito, even though he's a piece of crap, for cheating, I just see him so worthless. But um, every Cotto fight throughout his career has been so exciting. It's just, he's that type of fighter. He's not the most charismatic, not the most likable, but you cannot, you cannot say that he's not one of the most exciting fighters of our boxing era because he is. Every single one of his fights are exciting. There's no boring added to it. It's just, you know, it's just incredible. I'm very proud to have seen the fight. I'm very proud to have worn the Miguel Cotto shirt in support as a fan, as a boxing fan. And I would say that Sergio Martinez is a good guy. He's a great guy. And he was able to be a man and say, I lost the fight. It was a good fight. I lost. He won. And now Miguel Cotto is the super champ of the 160 division. I expect him to move back down to 154 because he is kind of too small to keep fighting in that type of a division where everyone's just way too big for him. Um, or retire and say, hey, I did everything I wanted to do in the sport of boxing. I retire. So whatever decision he makes, I support it. And again, I'm a big boxing fan. Uh, so YouTube, much respect to everyone. Um, I never meant any disrespectful comment if I made that so, or anyone was disrespected by anything I said, and no meaning or no intention was meant by it. I'm just a huge fan of the boxing sport. So much respect to the boxing community. Peace out.